which video do you like the most, left or right? Please let me know in the comments. Your answer will be key to research I'll share later in this video. As you can see, the video on the left has a retro aesthetic, but it's not just a filter. It was actually recorded with a camera that's almost 40 years old, while the one on the right was recorded with a modern camera. Did you notice I asked you which video you like the most, not which one you think has better quality? Why? You'll discover it later in this video. Recently, I was talking with some videographer friends who are always chasing the latest gear, and honestly, their cameras and equipment are incredible. But I pointed out that while in professional work, where time is money and meeting industry standard is essential, having advanced tools is truly important. But in the artistic realm, I think it's not always the case. In this video, I'll share my perspective on what video quality truly means and how an obsession with technical perfection can sometimes overlook the essence of creativity. So please join me. Most of the comments I receive when I share video samples from retro cameras I've modified for the channel are incredibly positive, and I'm so grateful for that. But as expected, there are also negative comments. This got me thinking, what do we perceive as quality in video? So I conducted a little experiment. I ran a poll on my personal Facebook with 96 people. Without revealing which camera each video came from, I asked a simple question: which video do you like more? Nothing about technical quality, just which video do you like more? The results: 88% of people prefer the image from the retro camera. Honestly, I expected a more balanced outcome. However, I'm aware that results could be influenced. Perhaps the sample size was too small, or maybe because there are people close to me who share my same interest, there was a natural inclination toward the retro aesthetic. I'm not trying to romanticize the use of these cameras, nor do I want to contribute to driving up their prices, but we'll discuss this later. But even with that, this is telling me that this aesthetic continues to have a significant impact on many people. That's why I ask you the same question at the beginning of this video. Your answer will be key to complementing this experiment. I'll share the results in the next video. But maybe the fact that so many people prefer the retro aesthetic is simply because it's trendy. The use of retro cameras like VHS and Hi8 has flooded social media with videos aiming to capture that nostalgic style. For people like me who are approaching their 40s, this trend has an emotional weight. These cameras were an important part of our lives. What is curious to me is that young people who never experienced that era have also embraced this trend. Maybe they are drawn to the aesthetic charm, the imperfect and warm textures of the images, or the idea of a simpler, more authentic time. Is this trend a bad thing? Not necessarily. It has revived interest in analog technology and saved these cameras from being forgotten, fostering creativity and connecting generations. But it has also inflated the prices in the market. Cameras that used to cost $30 are now over $2,000. So I ask you, with these current prices, do you think it's worth investing in these cameras? Or would you prefer just a simple filter in post-production? Personally, I think a filter is not enough, and I want to show you why. Here's a comparison. On one side, a video recorded with an authentic VHS camera. On the other, one with the best filter I could find applied to modern footage. Do they look the same to you? I'll stick with the original, but if you prefer the filter, that's fine. I think we're discovering that quality can be subjective sometimes. But from a technical perspective, what is quality? In simple terms, it refers to parameters that determine the clarity and precision of a digital video recording. Since most of what we create today ends up in digital format, whether it originates from analog or not, I'll focus specifically on digital video quality. I won't go into too much detail, but the key aspects include bitrate. More data processed per second result in sharper details, fewer artifacts, and a more faithful representation of the original image. Resolution. The more pixels, the sharper and more detailed the image. Dynamic range. The ability to capture details in both highlights and shadows. Frames per second determines how smooth the motion looks in a video. Color depth. More colors provide more accurate representation of reality. To illustrate, let's compare two cameras, the Sony PC100 from 1999 and the Sony a6400 from 2019. You're watching the numbers. Lower resolution, lower bitrate, so much less dynamic range. And while both record at 30 FPS, the modern camera can go far beyond that. But do you really need these specifications for a video to be considered quality? Think about it. Iconic films like The Blair Witch Project or Clerks were shot with limited equipment and low budgets, yet became massive successes. Could it be that quality is about more than just technical specs? But before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Even a simple emoji helps a lot. Thank you for your support. Think about those home videos from your childhood. Maybe they were blurry, with barely audible sound and shaky camera movements. But that didn't matter. What you remember isn't the technical details. It is the laughter of a loved one, the birthday cake, or the fun family chaos. Those videos didn't need technical perfection because they captured something more valuable, real emotions. From my perspective, artistically speaking, quality lies in a video's ability to convey emotions. It is not measured by numbers but by the impact it leaves on the viewer. A technically imperfect image can still be powerful if it connects emotionally. When I started exploring videography in the mid-90s, I did it because, as a musician, no one in my city was making music videos. So I picked up a camera and learned on the fly, creating videos for my songs and other local bands. Those early projects didn't have advanced equipment or big budgets, but they captured something special, the energy and emotions of each moment. That experience taught me that technical aspects are definitely important, but no more than what you manage to convey. So, what matters more, artistic or technical? It depends on what you want to share. On my music channel, I use retro cameras because they reflect the nostalgia I want to evoke. But for my camera mods tutorials, I prefer the camera on my phone. I think every project requires its own tools, but the most advanced isn't always the best. But am I blinded by nostalgia? Since most of the feedback I get, both positive and negative, mention nostalgia, let's talk briefly about that. Is it really bad? Think back to those Saturday mornings when you will watch Cartoon Network while enjoying the pancakes your mom lovingly made. Now, years later, as an adult, you are at Walmart shopping. By chance, you take the wrong aisle and ended up in the toy section, standing in front of a He-Man action figure from the Master of the Universe. Instantly, you're transported 20 years into the past, and that special moment comes floating back like a warm hug. It makes you smile. It makes you feel at home. That, right there, is nostalgia. There's a very obvious negative wave in this story. Marketing often exploits this feeling, but let's focus on understanding its essence. Nostalgia on its own, I think, is not bad. It's comforting. However, in excess, it can become an obstacle, preventing us from enjoying the present or embracing the changes that come with life. So, is it bad to enjoy the retro video aesthetic? I don't really think so. It doesn't mean we can't appreciate the advantage of modern technology. It's a way to reinterpret the past and find inspiration for creativity in it. In conclusion, for me, if a video managed to convey something emotionally, technical details take a backseat. Whether it is shot at 30, 24 or 60 FPS, with limited dynamic range or imperfect colors, what matters is that it captures the feelings you want to share. But to achieve that, understanding the technical basics can be key to expanding your creative possibilities. It's like music. Today, there are tools that make creation easier without needing musical theory. but learning it opens up a world of possibilities. The same goes for video. You might create something incredible by accident, but if you don't know how you did it, it will be difficult to replicate. Quality isn't just about the equipment you use, it's about what you manage to convey and knowing when to use the right tool. That's my perspective, but I know there are many ways to see it, and I completely respect them all. Thank you so much for being part of this reflection. Leave your opinion on the comments, and don't forget to be part of the experiment. And I'll see you in the next video.